fantastisk upplevelse för mig. Jag var så lycklig. Det var en av de bästa dagarna i mitt liv när jag förstod att jag kunde ha det som mitt jobb.
My name is PewDiePie.
I do feel like I am never gonna be a mangaka because this is such hard work, man. I thought it'd be drawing, like, drawing. It's so fun to draw. It's like, It's not relaxing. Do I seem relaxed? No. Okay, I'll chill.
Yeah, there's there's a common misconception that even I had that misconception. Give up on your dreams of being a mangaka. Give up on your dreams on being a mangaka. That's the voice so many people have heard over and over and over again, and some have listened to it, but others have kept going regardless. And if some of these people did not keep going regardless, we would not have one of the best stories that anime has offered us over the past couple of years, past couple of decades. If Toriyama gave up on his dream, we would not have Dragon Ball Z. If Kishimoto gave up on his dream, we would not have Naruto. If Rohan Kishibe, I'm just kidding. Hirohiko Araki gave up, we would not have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and the list goes on and on and on. So yeah, hi, if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Nick and I draw manga. So if you've been here, you've probably seen some of my stuff. I am the... Oh, knocked the mic for a second there. I am the writer and the author and artist behind Project Trojan. There'll be a link in the description if you want to purchase a copy. Today on this video, we're going to be talking about PewDiePie. So who is PewDiePie? I've been watching PewDiePie for over a decade, I think. I believe I started when he was streaming games and his Let's Plays. His Let's Play arc is like one of the earliest ones that I remember. Then he moved to reaction videos where he would react to memes. I think memes was the biggest thing. He had a collaboration era at that time too, but I believe meme review is one of the biggest things that I remember from that era. Let me not gloss over the Let's Plays, by the way. If I'm not wrong, I believe PewDiePie was one of the first people to actually make the playing video games online trope a thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but back then PewDiePie was the image of that genre of content. He was even on a TV show to talk about it, because at the time when he was doing it, people didn't actually believe that you can make money by sitting down and playing video games. So it killed a lot of that stigma that video games are bad for you. And I believe he was the one. I could be wrong. There were other people who were doing it, like Charlie at the time. I remember I was watching Charlie when he didn't even have a cam. Wow, that's a long time ago. But yeah, meme review arc. I remember the bee lasagna song era, which was around the T-Series time, I believe. Yeah, there was the PewDiePie versus T-Series kind of arc back then, where PewDiePie and T-Series were the largest channels on YouTube. I believe that's since changed. I believe Mr. Beast is the biggest channel right now. I don't remember, but back then it was PewDiePie and T-Series. The T-Series, if I'm not mistaken, was like an Indian company kinda, who were also doing YouTube content, and they were pretty big in subscribers. And then finally he had a baby arc where I believe that's when he retired off YouTube, and rightfully so, right? So he can focus on, his family and his baby. After that is when I think he jumped into like side quests, to be honest. I stopped watching him after he retired, but he was still putting stuff out. I believe he went trucking with his friends. That's one of the first videos I seen after retirement. After that, art. Yeah, he jumped into art as well. This isn't actually the first art video he's dropped. Like, he started drawing. He got an interest and he said, I'm gonna start drawing, and he actually is pretty good at it. Like, he drew for like 100 days. Then I released another one after, I don't remember the frequency that he was dropping those, but he got into art at some point, and he was loving it. He was really passionate about it. The next thing I seen from him, again, I don't watch him a lot these days, but the next thing I remember is that he developed like an AI workspace that was centered around security and protecting your data, which is pretty dope. It's called Odysseus, and it's like open source too. So I thought that was cool. And then now he's dropped this video, which is right up my alley, Manga. And the title is, let me make it bigger here. It's I Tried to Make Manga. So we're gonna check out the video, see what it's about. Right now on my screen, I do apologize for the wacky setup. I have to constantly be drawing even when reacting to stuff, because deadlines. Those of you who've been keeping up, I'm working on page 259. This is volume 2 of Project Trojan, and right now I'm just doing some easy stuff. I'm probably just gonna add some backgrounds to these, add some black ink, and I'm not going to yap any further, but I will be doing work while watching this. So we're going to watch it and see what we come up with. But while we watch, I do want to have something in the back of our minds while we watch this. At the end of the video, I want to get his approach, I guess. His approach to manga. Approach is spelled that way, right? Whatever. 2, does he finish? Does he finish? 3, what do we learn? Like, did we learn something new? Did we learn something new? Because at the end of the day, whether they're experienced or not, I've learned new stuff from new artists that are just starting out manga. So there's always something to learn off of anyone, and I want to keep that in mind while we watch this video as well. So without further ado, I've spent so much time on this intro. Oh my god, it was supposed to be like a minute, but we're gonna jump into the video. Let's check out PewDiePie's I Tried to Make Manga.
I'm gonna draw a manga. I'm gonna do it. How hard can it be?
This is a lot harder than I thought. What have I done? This is insane.
But first, I need supplies.
What have I done is so real. What have I done is so real. And you feel that, like, if what feels to be at every step of the way. If you feel this after like 2-3 chapters, and then you realize how much work you have to do at that moment, and you quit, it's like, man, okay, at least I didn't go too far. But when you have a volume out and you're still feeling this way because you realize, oh, I have to do that like 3 times if you're doing a trilogy, or 10 times. I cannot explain to you the bafflement that I have. The way Japanese mangaka can put out chapters is insane. It's a feat that I don't think enough people realize how insane that is. But let's keep going.
And in Japan, I am very spoiled with that.
No. Is the name Bjorn? Is he talking Japanese? He said Nanda kore.
Then.
Which is your favorite color, babe?
Oh, that's kind of adorable. Not gonna lie.
First, I need to think of a story, which I had luckily had already done. I realized I need a storyboard, otherwise this is gonna be impossible. Like I need.
Good. That is something I learned a little bit too late. So I'm glad that he's kind of got this down packed. So I would just draw and go with it. And I think at the time I just wanted to put something out to show my friends. Really, the priority was to show people this cool stuff that I drew, not really thinking about like a cohesive story or directional like awareness. But all these things I came to learn over time. But it's something that I wish I'd definitely learned before I even started, was understanding art style, direction, and energy as a concept before going into it. Something that you will notice when you look at Western versus Western versus Japan, like comics, which is what manga is there's a lot of focus on direction and the energy. So artists in the West tend to focus a lot on the spectacle, which is cool. But Japanese artists just natively have this focus on energy. Like when you're looking at a panel, they illustrate it in a way where you feel the energy behind the panel, and there's a lot of techniques you can do or follow to achieve that. Some artists will muddy things, will draw like certain shapes that you're aware of, but they will not finish that shape, or they'll blur or obscure certain things to make you feel as if you're in there, and your brain just can't like process the information. Some artists will draw like Gege, for example. Gege will show that energy with his brush strokes, so you'll see a lot of brush strokes that feel or seem like a mistake. And again, I could be wrong on this. I heard it from a different source that the reason Gege's art style, and I'm talking about Gege Akutami from JJK, the mangaka for Jujutsu Kaisen. I heard from a different source that the reason his art style looks like that is because mangakas are usually rushed. They have a deadline to meet, and sometimes the rushing while drawing can translate into the art style. But either way, the effect is still there. When you watch Gege's work and a character's moving super fast, you will see the brush strokes kind of almost mimic that movement. But yeah, I'm yapping. Let's keep going.
Need this to go to paper. So today I am working on the storyboard, which I think will be very important. And I'm realizing I'm gonna have to draw a lot more because this is already like 9, 12, 13, and this is not, the story has not even begun. So, let's not worry about scale right now. Let's get all the things I want to get out, and then I can cut it down if I want to.
Just put it on paper. That's just do it. Don't even think about
how much. I've never written a story before. Out of all things.
Don't even think about how much work. I forgot. I keep forgetting to pause it. Yeah, in the storyboard level, it's best to just not think about your limitations. Just go crazy, and then figure out how you're gonna actually work on that or flesh that out later.
This actually turned out to be the easiest bit. I don't know why. There it is. I finished the storyboard. Finished. First version is done. No spoilers. I was originally thinking like a 14, but this is looking more like 50. I don't know, 50.
Interesting. So his storyboarding is a little bit different from how I do it. Let me grab my binder real quick to show you how mine looks. All right, so this is just one of my chapters. This is chapter 11 of Project Trojan that I have, and I will literally print it. Can you even see it? Hang on. So I literally and I printed in black and white just to save ink or whatever. But I will literally work on the actual storyboard and figure out exactly how it flows. And it's easier for me to look at it like this and flip pages. So so that I can know how everything's gonna flow out together. I'll move it closer. But this is basically what I do before I start inking. And then when it comes to inking, everything just comes together because I have these to reference for my pages. Again, if you've tuned into my streams or seen my whole work process, you'll know like this is what I use. Right now they look like it's black because just how I printed, but this is usually in blue ink. But I might switch to this method of storyboarding.
I finished the storyboard. Finished. First version is done. No spoilers. I was originally thinking like a 14, but this is looking more like 50. I don't know, 52, 54. It feels super exciting though. I think it has a lot of soul. The art might be really bad, but I love the story. As you
Doesn't matter, PewDiePie. It doesn't matter how good your art is yet. Just do it. Just put it out.
can tell, there's not going to be any speaking. There's not going to be any dialogue because I just prefer it that way. I think it's a simple story, but I also wanted to leave it to the interpreter, you know, like make it feel like your story. You can make what you want out of it. That's the goal. Now, I think I should just start drawing, honestly. I have a lot of drawing to do. It dawned on me very quickly that this project is going to take a very long time. My goal was to finish within a month. And in order to keep that goal, I have to start drawing.
I had 20 minutes. Gotta make it count when you're dead.
I cannot dilly-daddle. I gotta start drawing. I gotta start drawing. We got 3 different types of paper. This one's a little thicker. If you don't draw, maybe you're like, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so I think we got the first answer for what we had here. His approach. So let's see. So it looks like he's definitely going traditional, which is interesting. Write that down so I don't forget. He is going traditional. Because he's actually going to get the paper, I was about to say utensils, the stationery, and he's gonna work traditionally on this. That is dope. That is really cool.
But it does matter, okay? So I'm gonna test it out, see which one I prefer, and just commit to that one. Maybe I'll draw the same thing. The black is not transferring well at all on this paper. As opposed to on this paper, I feel like the black is more blackish. So I think I need to do some research how actual manga artists do it. I feel like I'm not trying to be a perfectionist or anything, but I think if I do some research now, I will save myself a lot of issues later. And I also don't like how white this paper is. This is the paper I like, but also this paper is going fast because Björn is. Throughout this process, I had many mental breakdowns. I thought this thing would be fun. I'm just gonna draw a little bit. I'm running out of time already. I'm starting to sketch out all the things a bit more detail, but I realized oh, actually I want this here. And then I realized, oh, actually I want this there. So I'm just laying it out now and I'm already gonna change all this, but I kind of need to get going. So I'll fix it later. We'll keep going. This is a lot harder than I thought.
Yeah.
I think it's just getting it right, like getting the flow, like going from one place and then transitioning and then timing the pages. It's supposed to be a boy, right? But I'm so used to drawing adults, so like I have to redraw every time. I'm like, it doesn't look like a child. Like now he's tall all of a sudden. I gotta get in the zone. I gotta get in the zone and just draw. Stop asking me. Everything was just harder than I thought. Just drawing line work. I never really traced my own sketches before, and I know this from my anime studio. Just tracing, that's in itself is such a skill. And I was failing miserably. I also bought the wrong brushes. I bought watercolor ones, which messed me up so bad. This page is probably the most fun one to look at because it has so many different shades. But the blending of it's horrible. Like horrible. This is not what I want.
That's insane because I actually do not hate that at all. It almost looks like a style. And that's the thing about art. It's there's no like there's no specific way to illustrate something. As long as you have the right shapes that people can recognize, you're doing good. Just keep going. Like, I honestly like that. I could look at that work and see it as his personal style. And like I said earlier, Gege Akutami, if the energy like strokes that bring his style, like people know it as the Gege style. Like if I'm on the manga side of Instagram and I see a lot of people talk about Gege's work and any other artist that draws stuff in that kind of style, they reference it and they say, oh, it's Gege stuff. But going back to what I mentioned, that could have just been a product of a rushed environment that's causing his strokes to be wide like that because he's rushing to finish the artwork. And that just goes to prove the point I'm trying to make is your art style is not just how you decide to draw things, it's also the mistakes and some of the aesthetic values you get from those same mistakes, and finding ways to make those mistakes part of it. And all of a sudden your art style will look intentional as hell. And that's what I see when I look at PewDiePie's work. I don't see all the shading or the blending is bad here. I just see it as, oh, that's just PewDiePie's style. And so what if it's a mistake? If it looks good, go with it.
I think the feet in the water looks great, but like I've ruined it. And like the sky is supposed to be even, and it's just like this paintbrush thing. Like the brush fucked me, basically, is what I'm saying. This stupid brush. So I might redo this one if I have time. I'm gonna put these in like if I have time when I finished everything pile. Why did I have to draw all these? Why did I decide that to be a good idea, huh? Don't worry, I'm actually not upset. Me and Marcia, we're going to the store now to buy more paper. I'm out of paper, and there's like one store in Yokohama that sells the... And I'm gonna look for pens, like gray pens. Why? I don't want it to blend. I want smooth. And then we went back to the art store for the 500th time because I needed more supplies. Okay, so I brought the whole dang thing because they have this selection of cutouts. So I hope that I can... I'm hoping I can just like match so I get exactly what I need, basically. I need a lot of paper. That's glue. That's also glue. Glue. Also glue. 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 Oh, what's this? Today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Saley. When you're traveling, you are tired, you have just landed, you have to either stand in line to rent Wi-Fi, deal with just accepting the pain and cost of roaming, or buy a SIM. But what if I told you there is another way? Saley. Saley, beautiful Saley. Saley is an eSIM service that I meet people here in Japan and they say thank you. And I go, you're welcome, I told you. You can set it up today and it will just work. Even before your trip, and then as soon as you land, it will automatically switch you over, which is amazing. One less thing to think about when you're traveling. Saley has been a sponsor for this channel a long time, and no matter what service you're picking, whether you want a ton of data or just a limited, they are flexible for your needs. They have access to all across the world, and they even have credit or cash premium travel benefits like lounge access and fast track as well. So even if you don't end up spending all your credits, you can still use it for other things. Saley just makes the difficulty of traveling so much easier. If you go to saley.com/PewDiePie, you also get a discount. So enter the code PewDiePie and watch the price go away. It's a beautiful thing. I highly recommend it. Thank you, Saley, for sponsoring this video. Since I decided to do this project with paper and ink, I wanted to, of course, use these shading tones. I had never used these before, and of course, it was way harder than I thought.
Because I'm gonna just do a test. So, I'm cutting through. It's not very satisfying to cut, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, just for now, we'll do here. Alright, is that enough?
So, wow. Okay, well. And then you're supposed to just. Oh, it just attaches. That's actually very satisfying. And you can't see it at all. Okay, well now you can. That's kind of cool, actually. Gotta make sure you don't get bubbles, actually. This is.
I was just about to say he's got an air bubble in there, but he's testing this out. So these have always been cool. Like, you need like an insane level of skill to be able to just pull these off perfectly every time, because it sticks on there. Like, once it's on there, it's on there. And if you make a mistake, you gotta literally start your whole page again. Like, respect to people that use manual screen tones. Like, if I need screen tones, this is how easy it is for me to get screen tones. Watch. Boom. Done. I just switched to the screen tone brush.
It's just a test. I'm not keeping it. That's kind of interesting. I'm not hating. But at some point.
Interesting. I really like how PewDiePie understands like the light value, because he's using light and dark shapes really well. Better than I was when I first started.
It clicked. I was finally enjoying this process. Just enjoying drawing. Okay, so progress so far. This will be the cover. This is the name of it. I'm calling it Cow. So it'll be like mountain, and then it kind of like zooms in on the boy. I am gonna change this one. I don't really love.
That's cool. So he's really he really has the pacing of the. I literally seen the camera like.
This will be the cover.
Like, the camera just zoom in.
This is the name of it.
That's
I'm calling
cool.
it Cow. So it'll be like mountain, and then it kind of like zooms in on the boy.
That's really dope.
Change this one. I don't really love this, but we're going with it. I don't have time to change. So he's gonna climb up. Then there's gonna be like a breathing room, kind of quiet, and then boom. What is that? Big reveal of Tiger. Tiger growls in his face. Boy again. It's just like whoa. And that's all I got so far. All right. Another day today. My goal is to finish the draft. I think I'm like maybe halfway, 2/3. So I'm gonna finish the draft today, or a rough draft. I'm just gonna have to work hard, not overthink it. I laugh because I always do. The only text in the story is in Japanese, so therefore, official manga. Y'all semantic nerds can beat it. It's made in Japan, and it's in Japanese. I actually...
Oh, that's so funny. Semantic nerds, man. I remember there was a time people like that would just get under my skin. Cause yeah, there's elitists, just like any community space online. You have certain people that think there's only one way and only one way of doing something. And if it doesn't fall under that category, then it's not legit and it doesn't deserve to exist. I've been told multiple times that I can't draw manga because one, I'm in the US, and two, I'm black. Unfortunately, that one was a common one back then. They were like, you can't do it, like, oh, you're black, which I'm like, just, do you have to say I'm black? Like, couldn't you just say, oh, you're not Japanese? Like, so is it just black people that can't do it, or what's going on there? And hey, if I listened to those people, I would not have my first volume out. So sometimes you do have elitists like that who try to force you into a certain box. But all you have to do is just think about it logically, right? Like, do you have a passion for it? Do you love what you're doing? Does it even matter what it's called, right? Because it doesn't matter if you don't want to call my stuff manga and want to call it a comic, sure, right? It's still something that I've produced, written and published. So so what's that going to change with that fact? Like, they can't really take that away from you. They can't take your hard work away from you. So don't listen to those people if you're passionate about your work and want to put it out there.
Really like the story. Am I allowed to like my own story? I think it's great. I'm so happy how it's turning out. I can't wait. You
have to. There's no choice. you have to love your own story. You have to love your story more than anyone out there. If you have a fan out there that loves your work more than you do, you're making a mistake. And the reason I say this, especially with manga, is that's what carries you. That's what motivates you to draw these pages. Because you have a lot of work to do as a mangaka, because sitting down and deciding that you want to do 200 pages for your story, for your first volume, your first one. Like, you don't even know if you're going to do 10 or 3 or 6, but just the overwhelming fact that you're going to have to sit there, create storyboards for all 200 pages, and then you have to come back and do the inking and add all the detail. It's a daunting task. And if you don't like your own story, it's gonna get harder to get through that work. I'm not gonna lie. I've had to rewrite entire chapters just because I didn't like the chapter. Which also translates to when you're drawing it, you're just like, why am I even doing this? You question yourself. But if you really love, like, for example, for me, the reason I'm really doing this is, one, I love anime. I love how the Japanese artists illustrate their stories, and more importantly, their fight scenes. I love shonen manga so much that it eventually drew me to drawing my own. And it's really the action scenes that get me, right? So those are the scenes that when I first started, I was looking forward to drawing. So I was having more fun drawing the action scenes. But then, just like any other story, the pacing matters, right? You just can't have complete fights. I mean, you can if you're Gege Akutami. But even Gege has like some downtimes where characters are talking, there's exposition moments. You have to spend time because you know that your readers are going to have to read about these characters. And if you don't take enough time to flesh them out, the characters are not going to feel whole or real or even relatable. So when you're writing a story, you have to also write these slow moments in terrific ways. You have to find ways to make these moments interesting, whether you're going to split the scene where exposition is happening and then you cut away, whether you're going to introduce a new setting while the exposition is going. You have to find interesting ways to make sure that what you're drawing is something that you're really interested in and invested in. That way, when you're drawing, it doesn't feel like a chore. You don't feel like you're doing it for something you don't like, and the motivation is just going to keep surging. So you have to like what you're writing and what you're illustrating.
Wait for you guys to read it, but I gotta nail the ending. The ending is a little weak right now. It's just so fun. It's like a manga, but it's not really your cliche kind of manga, so I think it'll be fun. Anyway, let's keep hustling. That's a beefy boy. I'm out of paper. What have I done? What have I done? I have so much work to do. This is insane. I'm gonna ink all days? What was I thinking? I haven't even finished it. Oh my god. Why did I do so many pages? I just couldn't stop. Now I pay the price.
I feel that.
This is not good. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
Am I being too loud? Am I being too loud? It's been like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. So, spoilers, I did not finish in time. Doesn't matter for you, but I had the goal of uploading this month. It's not gonna happen. I have not even finished the draft yet. I'm working on like, I need to draw this. And this page feels very empty. There's still work to do. I'm hoping inking will just be a breeze. I know that's not the case, but I can still hope, okay? I'll just fly through the inking. It'll be no problem. But yeah, despite popular belief of every time I do something, I don't have infinite time, okay? I have other stuff I need to work in other projects, but I am like excited about this and I'm looking forward to finishing this. I do feel like I am never gonna be a mangaka because this is such hard work, man. I thought it'd be drawing, like, drawing. It's so fun to draw. It's like, It's not relaxing. Do I seem relaxed? No. Okay, I'll chill.
Yeah, there's there's a common misconception that even I had that misconception. That's why I went into it. I was like, hey, these guys have so much fun drawing these, I bet. Man, it's the misconception is that as long as you have enough passion for what you're doing, it's just all gonna be fun. It's always gonna feel like you're not even working. I guess that's the misconception. But in reality, there's just so much work that you have to do. Um, you also have to put into consideration, I work, right? I have a job, right? Because I got to pay bills. So I do have a 9 to 5 that I go to. And, if I had enough like money to just not work, I would just be drawing all day, right? So you also have to consider you have work, you have stress from work. When you're done with work, you're most likely tired. You're not even mentally there. I can only effectively draw in the mornings. I can draw like anytime, but in the morning, like right when I wake up, that's when I'm most creative. I've tested this out. Um, and I know this are the facts. So that's why those of you who know me know that I'm literally up at 3 a.m. just to draw, which means I'm asleep by like 7 p.m. Um, but all of that is just to make sure that when I do sit down to draw, I have the energy to do it, I have the motivation to do it, and I do not have any distractions. Because if you have ADHD, you cannot sit down and focus for as long as you need to draw manga. And that's another thing. That's why you have to invest in yourself or in your own self health to make sure that when you actually do sit down to draw, you don't have the distractions. You feel energetic, you feel creative enough, be it in the morning, be it afternoon, whatever time your creativity juices are running. You want to make sure you are efficiently making yourself available during these moments. So there's so many factors that come into play that can easily turn drawing manga or comics a stress or a hassle, and you don't want to feel that, especially for something that's a passion for you. um so that's so interesting seeing him. I thought he would leave this. I'm glad he actually kept this in the video because it could get frustrating. And then you have some people saying, hey, if you really love doing it, then you shouldn't be feeling that way. But people like that don't really understand like mindsets and preparing yourself. But in any case, that is so true. Not everything he's going through I believe is something that just about every mangaka has gone through. I believe that 100%.
Chill. I'll chill and get this done.
Sorry for cutting it off again. I haven't even talked about self-doubts and external energies that could try to like shake you up. Um, there's so many factors. Self-doubt is also a big one. You really have to like crush any self-doubt that you have as much as possible.
I have spent all day drawing and I made barely any progress. Inking is killing me. Why every time I do something, it's like, no, I gotta do more. It's like, no, I'm not gonna draw digital. I'm gonna draw it with ink. No, I'm not gonna do 14 pages. I'm gonna do 30 billion pages actually. So this will be the cover. I have not inked it yet. Then we have...
Okay, I think it's safe to talk about this. I keep pausing. I'm sorry, but I think it's a good point that he made there. Like, oh, I'm gonna do traditional. I'm not gonna do digital. In all honesty, it doesn't matter what medium you pick, as long as your story is good enough, as long as your art style is understandable, cohesive. I don't really think the medium matters. There is some points for authenticity and the traditional aspect. I believe there's also some why did my camera keep focusing and defocusing? Anyway, um I even lost my trail of thought. I believe whatever medium you take, whether it's traditional or digital, um do it because it makes sense to you. Don't do it because of like external stigmas. My personal reasons for going digital is because for me it's just faster, right? It's just faster for me to go digital because if I make a mistake, um I could just switch brushes and erase that real quick. Literally, if I make a mistake here, whoops. Like if I make a mistake and like ink this the wrong way, Control Z. It's like a shortcut, right? You can't Control Z when you're doing traditional manga, right? You have to basically just start from scratch. It is also very easier to do traditional because you can just switch between positive and negative space, which is the technique that I use. My camera keeps anti-focusing on the wrong thing. I'm even there, but it's still doing it. But it's just much easier. There's also the whole concept of, is it my, it could have been my mic. There's also the whole concept of protecting your work. Traditional stuff tends to get destroyed relatively easily. You can make a coffee spill on it. You can drop it on some water, or you could accidentally burn it. I don't know how that would happen, but in any case, if it's digital, you can save multiple copies of it in multiple spaces, to where if you happen to get a crash and lose all your data, it's backed up digitally. You can pull it up from anywhere of the sources that you have it saved in. So that's, and there's also more, but those are really the biggest reasons why I personally do. Now I'm worried that this is not picking up my voice better. That's personally why I go traditional. Because for me, I don't have to set up a workspace. I just get on my desk. Literally, my tablet is like on a shelf under like my desk. So I just pull it out, bam, put on Photoshop, get my pen, and I'm good. I don't have to prepare like ink pens. I don't have to prepare multiple like stationery just to get started. I just pull out my tablet and I go to town. So that's my personal reason, and that's what makes sense to me. If you have the time or if you have the skill to do traditional where you're just one-shotting pages, go for it. That makes sense for you. And there's nothing wrong with either medium. So that's my personal opinion.
The first panel, which I think turned out really nice. You see him there, and then he'll be like, I think he needs more detail. Maybe I'll make him gray. I haven't used any grayscale yet, I know. Then look at him there, he's all fucking tall and shit. I can't fix that, so that's awesome. But he's gonna walk through. This will be nice with grayscale too, I think. I only have this pen, which is 0.3. It's a great pen, but if I want to do details on the face, it's very hard. Don't look too close. I got this Mangaka pen, but I'm not using this. It doesn't draw when I want it to draw. I'm like trying. Nothing's coming out. Ah! Okay, so I wanted to show you what stuff I actually ended up using. This turned out to be my favorite paper, if it matters to anyone. For sketching, I use this pen. It's so cheap and it's so good and I love it. It's got some nice weight to it. 0.3. Very good. You need an eraser, obviously. Then I only use these three. I probably could use one more. 0.03, 0.3, 0.5. Super duper slim lines, my average lines, and my beefier lines. Then the king of this manga that probably saved this entire project is these pen. The ink is inside this, and this is soft. So basically, you squeeze out the ink by...
These are goated. These are actually so goated. Oh my god. They remind me of the fountain pens that I used to use when I was back in Kenya. When you go to boarding school, this is one of the the few things you'd have to bring with you for like the art classes. And you would also have to bring like a fountain pen, which where ideally works the same. You would literally have to carry a bottle of ink with you all the time. And if you put one of these or a fountain pen in your pocket, GG's. GG's. Because what's going to happen is it's going to blow up or leak into your pocket pants. And you're going to have a stain, a black stain on your pants. I went to a academy called Laser Hill Academy, and the pants that we wore were like gray. So whenever that would happen, it would spill whatever pen you have on there, whether it's blue, red, or black. You would just have a giant blotch of ink on that piece of clothing, and that's it. You cannot get that out. We probably could have gotten it out with bleach, but it was just a hassle to get out that you might as well just throw away your pants and get a new set.
Bending it. I don't know if you can see it, but you see it basically. What's great about this pen is that it's very cheap, and I don't have to dip ink all the time, and I can draw very slim lines, slim, and then you can progress and then press harder, and then boom, you got thick lines. Super versatile. This thing saved my life. I love this pen so much. I've seen masters use this pen too, and it's just so cool and inspiring. So I love this. These are my goats, basically. Then of course I use the leader toner, and then I use this two tools to cut it out. And this is to attach, basically. You just rub it. That pretty much covers 99%. Like, these are my goats. I need these. So I'm out here, I'm inking, I'm splinking, I'm testing, I don't know if you can see. I'm testing out like the layers. It's just we're just testing. We're just chilling. There's no stressing. Am I stressed? Do I look stressed? I redrew this one and I think it turned out way better, so I'm happy. And I realized I want to be happy with what I'm making. I'm not gonna say like, oh, but it's just I'm a lot happier with this one. And I decided what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna half draw, half ink one, and just experiment, and then I'll ink that on top of that one properly. Because what's happening right now is that I don't really have like a finalized draft. I kind of did like a half draft, like a sketch, you know? It's not really finished. And I realized with the inking, I also realized I'm talking too much and you don't care, but like I'm just gonna experiment. I feel like I'm drawing like this, like, okay, imagine your paper. That's not fun. That's not fun for anyone. Like, I'm so scared of messing up that there's no creativity, there's no funness. So I'm just gonna draw twice and fuck up the first one on purpose, so that I maybe find something interesting about it. Cause
That's an interesting point. Sometimes you can be too focused. That was me on my first volume. If you've read it, the first couple of chapters, you'll notice how stiff my art was because I was so focused on getting the lines right. Even right now, you can, as you watch me work on this, you can tell that there's little care that goes to some of these strokes, and that's because I've developed my style at this point, and I'm no longer afraid of making mistakes because at the end of the day, you can always fix mistakes, right? Right now, I think he's just doing it for his first time, and then I'm not sure if he's going off of a sketch first and then inking the sketch. I think that's what he's doing, but he still has that stigma of, oh, let me not F this up. And then you just sacrifice creativity automatically without even realizing it because of how stiff you're drawing. So I can relate to that too.
I think a lot of these in the beginning is just boring and bland. I did this challenge for myself because I wanted to get back into drawing. I honestly had kind of fallen off a little bit. I'm keeping the Bible next to me as I'm drawing, and I'm just like, holy fuck, dude, this is so sick. I'll never be that good. This is my favorite manga. Tsutomu Nihei wrote it. And I read it as a teenager, or like young 20s, and it blew my mind. And then recently when I started to practice drawing, I was looking up different mangas to copy and draw just for fun. And I found this one called Ningyo no Kuni. And I was like, oh, I love the style of this one. Like, the style is so sick. It was in Japanese, so I didn't really read it. I just drew it. And then I realized, oh, it's Tsutomu Nihei, but he just reinvented his style. How insane is that? Even though his style is so different, I still love it. And I had no idea, like zero bias. That is so crazy to me. This whole thing is so inspired by his style. Like, I just love it. I think he's like my biggest inspiration with this manga. Maybe not the story, but the elements of the story too, actually. Or the storytelling, rather. So if you haven't checked out his work, I recommend it. Why did I think this was a good idea? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, stop, 7, 8, and I want to redo at least 3. And I haven't post-processed 95% of them. My last video was so intense. Releasing Odysseus. It was supposed to be like an in-between video, so I have time to work on this video. It was not an in-between video
workspace
at all. It sucked everything out of me, and I have to be sucked again.
Sorry, I talked again without pausing. But yeah, that was the AI workspace I was talking about, Odysseus.
But I do it all to myself. I have no one to complain. I think I can do it. Just gotta keep drawing. I hate this photo, but it's finished. I thought it'd be funny that this scene comes back, because the hunter leaves and the boy is kind of left like, eh? And then the hunter's gonna have the same emotion. But like drawing this fucking thing 6 times is not, it's why did I have to get so many details in there? I have not used my brain whatsoever. I'd probably redrawn this the most out of all, and I don't even like it. But here we are. Isn't that great? Some are coming in quite nice though. Like that.
The tiger is insane. The details on the tiger, the anatomy on it. Yeah, he's been practicing. This looks great.
It's kind of cool. I bet you're wondering what the hell this story is about. Well, just wait and see. I'm hoping, like, my bad framing, someone will see it and be like, yes, he let the lines flow downwards towards the end, and not because he's lazy and he fucked up and doesn't want to redo this. I don't even want to draw a frame to begin with. Why did I have to do it on it? Huh? I don't have a proper stupid roller. I've been screaming a lot this video. I realize that now, actually. So I'm gonna stop doing that now. I'm sorry. Hello, I am in a car. I am entering the phase where I'm almost wrapping up. Oh, you're now looking at the steering wheel instead. I'm entering the phase of almost wrapping up, and I feel like I am not happy with where it's going. And whenever that happens, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but my brain just self-folds. It goes, hey, actually I didn't care anyway, so I'm just gonna give up, whatever. What I wish my brain would do is just be like, hey, we're almost finished, just focus and do your best. It's like a coping
I'll let him finish.
mechanism that I do, so I can look back at it and say, actually, I didn't try my hardest, so that's why it turned out shit. I am aware of it, and I'm feeling it, so I hope I can break through, basically, is what I'm saying. I am starting to feel hope. I have so many pages now. That one's not finished. And these are not post-processed or whatever, I don't know what to call it. It's going to be a story. I see it now. As long as I don't look at anyone else's work, I feel pretty good about it.
So yeah, like I think I mentioned this earlier. A lot of like self-doubt is a big thing as an artist, even more so as a mangaka, because you're investing so much time into something that you have no certainty of. My coping mechanism for that, or my I guess resolution to mitigate that feeling, is to just go back and read my own manga. That's literally what I do. I go back and read it, and I see how far I've actually come. I see how many pages I've actually put out, and it reminds me like, hey, you're really serious about this, so you've already done this much. What's a few more pages to go, right? And that carries me on until more self-doubt hits me, and then I just recycle the process. Sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes it takes inspiration and motivation from reading other people's works. So I'll go back, read some One Punch Man, read some Kagurabachi, read something that gives an brings an emotion out of me and inspires me to kind of go back and make some amazing artwork like these mangakas obviously are, and that gets me going again. Another aspect of it is my friends and my audience, the people that read my stuff. They do compliment me and they talk about how amazing it is that I'm able to actually draw these things. All the compliments, all of that carries me on. So yeah, it's a combination of different factors that keep you going, and you gotta find that whenever you feel self-doubt.
No spoiler, obviously, but like, I hate this fucking page. I redrew it so many times. Stupid idiot horses. I have to draw 3 horses. Try and draw 1 horse, okay? They suck. I redrew this one as well. I feel like it was worth it. This one was actually worth it. It's quite moody. I will show you the entire manga now, but I actually have more work to do because I want to add more gradients and shit like that, because I think it adds a lot of depth. Focus, smokers, hocus pocus. The manga is done. It took me 3 months instead of 1, but it is done. To be fair, the projects became 3 times as long, so I think I did okay. I have this idea that I cannot do a manga. Okay, I have to draw for at least 6 years. I have to be a master at all these different elements. Then I can draw a manga. It's kind of like the sushi chef, right? Like he only gets to wash rice for the first 10 years. I don't know how. I also heard analogies like you shouldn't do hard things because if you go to the gym and you try and lift the heaviest weight, it's not gonna work, okay? You need to work your way up. I don't do that. If you want to do a gym analogy, yeah, you go to the gym, you lift the heaviest weight, you're gonna know that doesn't work immediately, okay? That's great feedback. You need to try things in order to learn. You need to fail in order to learn. And again, I am Mr. Failure, okay? I fail constantly. I learned more from this 3 months of drawing than probably an entire year of drawing, because it forced me to challenge myself in doing the different things I don't want to do and realizing my flaws and weaknesses and learning from it. Because I think you have these ideas that you can't do certain things, like you have to do this first, but I feel like just try it. Worst case, you fail, right? I would actually consider this manga a failure. There's just too much mistakes. There's too many things I messed up. I would not publish this manga, but regardless, I did it. And I can look at it and still be kind of proud of it. But without further ado, I want to show you guys the manga. Okay, here we go.
Interesting. So he did finish it, which answers our next question. I'm trying to see if he talks about more at the end. Oh, it's just another sponsor. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna leave this because the video is already like really long. I'm gonna stop it here. If you want to experience this manga that he drew, I think it's best if you experience this on his channel, not on a little window on my video. So I recommend you guys to actually go to his channel and watch this video, or if you've already watched it through me, that's fine. Just definitely go watch the rest of this on his video, because I believe this is where he goes through each page and talks about the story. Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, it looks really good. Okay, I'll watch this separately. Whether I upload it or not, you guys will find out over the weekend, but I will stop there so that you guys can actually go watch this on his channel in full screen, because this looks amazing. It's called Gao by PewDiePie. But yeah, on that note, I guess I'll just wrap up the video. His approach was traditional. We answered that question earlier, which was really interesting and kind of what I expected with PewDiePie. It looks like these side quests that he does them from a completely it's like a blind playthrough. It's like one of his like let's play walkthroughs, but but IRL. He approached this from a perspective of someone who's never done it before, had to learn a few key aspects of it. He went traditional, which is the harder route. Respect for that. And he went through the struggles that a lot of us go through as, you know, comic book writers or mangakas. So I'm really, really happy he managed to finish this because it is rough. He said it took him 3 months. Congratulations for that. And, you know, the earlier point I mentioned brings me to step 3. Did we learn something new? Well, I personally learned about some of the different stationaries, because usually when I ink, I just go with a simple brush with the ink brush that he showed. But the other tools that he mentioned, like the little pencils that he was using for sketching, those were new to me, and I'm definitely gonna go check it out, see if I can buy some of them. I just go the traditional route with a regular ink pen or an ink brush, and then some Copic markers for shading. Easy stuff. What else did I learn? I guess this isn't really new. I guess I kind of knew this just based off my own experience, but a lot of mangakas go through the same frustrations. He did mention his frustration of having to do the work and inking and doing all this stuff as a new artist. It's really daunting. And if you think about it, manga artists and comic artists alike, when you're telling a story, at first you don't realize how much stuff you have to draw, right? And for context, let's say you have like a scene, right? A scene that's occurring at, like, for example, right? This is a scene where one of my characters, John Trojan, and Valentina Hellwig, are having like a conversation. It starts here. She grabs his arm, and you know they have a laugh about it, and then they go to like a diner, right? Now, I've never drawn a diner, right? But in the principle of transition, you have to kind of show where these characters are. So of course I had to draw a diner. I had to go research. I had to look at references to see how typical diners look like and find my own middle ground. I've never drawn a diner doorbell before. So this thing, I had to, again, go to Google, type in diner doorbells, find a reference for it, see how the mechanics work, right? Because they're not just stuck on the wall. They have to be in the right place so that when the door opens, you hear the ding sound. That is something I've never drawn before. This is a coffee cup. Someone's pouring, doing the coffee art on a coffee. I know the coffee looks black here, but that's just I might add some more detail. We'll see. And then at the bottom right, you guys can't even see that. At the bottom right, there's like the container that holds, you know, utensils and cutlery, things like that. The counter was also wooden. That's a decision. That's an art decision I made. And then in the back, you see some spirals. That's just a carpet design, which I'll flesh out later. But keep in mind, these 3 panels are all things that I've never drawn before. That is your whole experience as a mangaka. It's drawing things that you've never drawn before. And sure, you can, after you draw enough, you'll have something saved in your RAM on your head and you'll know how to draw it. But you really have to understand space. I went to an actual, I went to I was about to say Wendy's. I went to Denny's just to get the whole like feel of this scene. You know, having people around, having the ketchup bottle on the table. These are things that you think are obvious to the human mind, but when you sit down and think about drawing things like these, you realize that if you haven't looked at these things enough, if you haven't observed, you haven't spent time really looking at your surroundings, understanding the various shapes that things come in. It's going to be really hard for you to draw some scenes unless you use like a decent reference, and that's part of the frustration as a mangaka, is having to draw different settings and drawing things that you typically wouldn't draw. If you were making a movie or filming something, you can just buy the prop, right? You can go to the store, buy a coffee mug, or you can go to the actual venue that already has these items around, and the camera just has to capture them where they are. But as a mangaka, you actually have to draw these things in place, and it can get really frustrating. So I'm glad that he actually did finish it. I kind of yapped and lost my train of thought. So yeah, we definitely learned something new, and that is the fact that all of us. I don't have a lot of mangaka friends. I have a few that have kind of shared their experience, but I don't think any of them have really expressed how difficult it is to keep going. And I'm glad that PewDiePie here put it at the forefront, and kind of reassured me that I'm not alone in this journey. So if you also draw manga, hit me up in the comments. I'll check out your stuff. I will buy your volume if you have something out, and support you in that way. But besides that, I think I'll end the video here. Again, if you want to go finish this video, see what his manga is about, definitely go to his channel and watch this. I'll put the link in the description. And other than that, I will stop yapping, and a word from our sponsors. Me, I'm my sponsor. Project Trojan is follows the story of John Trojan, who's struggling with memory loss, as he basically navigates a world steering into the apocalypse. He had a terrible accident, and he lost all the memories that he had of his friends and family, and he's working through living with the fact that he'll never get those memories back, and also figuring out what is going on in the world, because a second sun collided with the solar system's sun, or I guess a different star, and that collision created a new type of radiation that spread throughout the Milky Way galaxy. It infused, or I guess integrated, into the Earth's ecosystem, including animals, the Earth, physical Earth itself, and of course the humans. And they develop these unique powers based off of the strand of their DNA. And the story is escalating. The very first volume just covers the first few main characters, as well as some conflicts, before volume 2 comes in and escalates things further. So if you want to purchase a copy and support me, there'll be a link in the description, or you can go to my website. It is projecttrojanmanga.com, where you can grab yourself a copy. It's only $13.99, and I believe $2 for the digital version. I might have to check again on the digital versions, because I believe I need to put something up for that. But if you want to get the hard physical copy of this, you can definitely place an order for it from my website. But other than that, I tried to make a manga by PewDiePie, and with that being said and done, I will catch you on the next video. If I do end up reacting to the whole story, I think I'll leave the story out for maybe a week, or his reacting to his manga for about a week, and maybe I'll react to the whole thing on a separate video, just because this video is pretty long. But other than that, thank you all for watching if you stayed this long, and have a great rest of your day. I stream on Twitch early in the morning. My Twitch is Mabooks. So come in, tune in, say hi, and yeah, peace out. Peace out, 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 peace out. Peace out. I'm gonna stop.